Welcome back, everybody, to the Wind Waker HD playthrough. This is part 29, and we are still here in the Wind Temple. Surprisingly, isn't that weird? Last part I ended off in the Wind Temple, now I'm still here in the Wind Temple. Anyway, so now we gotta deal with the, what are these guys' names called? Let me look it up really quick. It's kind of, oh, the Armos. I actually had to time skip there because I sat there for a good half a minute, probably, just running around. I think I was throwing bombs at them. As you can see, I don't have 99 bombs anymore. I forgot how to kill these guys. I legitimately had to go look up how to kill them again, because it's been so long. Again, like I said, it's been 3 months since that, you know, that post-box opening. So I pretty much had to get back into the groove. Although, I will say, you know, and people can hold me to this as much as they want to. I don't mind it. I will say, though, that once I actually hit my stride after this, you know, once this particular session has started, I feel like I do the absolute best I've ever done in this playthrough. After a certain point, I feel like, probably after this temple is when I feel like I hit my stride, because I feel like, I don't know, everything just went really, really simply for me. I felt like I became really well versed in this game, thankfully. That was the one thing that I was worried about in the very beginning of doing this playthrough. I was just like, man, this is a Zelda game. I have really no experience with Zelda games whatsoever. I really hope that I can pick this game up and understand it, and, you know, not have to feel like I'm completely just stupid the whole time. But yeah, but that was one thing, though, with the songs, though. That was one thing that I completely forgot, how to change the, you know, the timing of the songs. But yeah. So now we gotta do this again. Now this room is particularly important? Question mark? Although I guess it's actually kind of convenient in terms of being able to do this temple. So we gotta plant 3 seeds, each on an increasingly higher up platform with Makar just by himself. Once we do the 3rd tree, then magical stuff happens. But 4 floor masters appear, one of which kidnaps Makar, and he's never seen again. That would be pretty convenient now, wouldn't it? Then I wouldn't have to drag him along across this whole temple and everything. Anyway, no, he's right here in this room. Of course, we just go 1 room to the right and boom, there he is. If I could ever move. He's off to the left somewhere. Oh, that's right, yeah, the walkthrough wanted me to pick up golden feathers. And if you throw the grappling hook, there he is. If you fling the grappling hook at P-Hats, you will get an instant golden feather. P-Hats! These guys are a big, if not the biggest reason why I hated this temple. The stone belongs to here heavy. Oh, well, I think I have something that makes me very heavy. However, we can't really free him just yet because we need something to actually move that stone statue, although I don't know why the power bracers can't do it. Oh, hello! That guy literally just opened his mouth as the bomb fell to his mahoof. But yeah, I keep forgetting. Is it called the power bracers or is the power... I'm just gonna look it up. I'm just gonna like... Oh no! Oh, power bracers is in Pokemon! Whoops! Anyway, while I kill these Armos Knights with, of course, you know, Bombaroos. I feel like it was the power gauntlets. Yeah, there's a picture of Link there. Oh no, it was the power bracelets. Wow. How girly. Okay. That's, interesting. Power bracelets. I don't know why. But, whatever. Alright, so now we're in this room, immediately greeted by a couple of P-Hats. So, the reason why the P-Hats were extremely annoying in this temple is, well, it hasn't actually happened yet. But once it does, I will explain it, because there's actually some time skipping. Then we gotta deal with this guy. And deal with that floor master. I've got the recently improved, but not 100%, Master Sword. Look at this. This P-Hat is still following me. As I'm down here and killing this second Floor Master, he's still chasing me. I was like, yeah, this guy's unbelievably resilient, and it's super annoying. Of course, they're easy to kill, but they're just so annoying to actually have deal with, or just have around. But all right, so let's see. All right, just making sure that I know where I'm at, just in case there's something that I need to actually explain, you know, that's happening in this temple. Although it is pretty straightforward. So again, we're gonna be using one of these springy thingies. Boom, boom, and up we go. There we go. All right, and now we get some free stuff. Oh, I just remembered. At near the end of the previous video, I said, "Look at all that money," and I said that's like an insider thing that I should probably explain in the next video. So what happened was, if anybody's familiar with Brian, aka ZeroBeat36, one of my buddies, I did the ABTZ Comms channel with him. Did some other stuff on this channel with him, like the Earthbound playthrough. Basically, at some point, he downloaded a virus somehow. I don't know how he got it. I can't remember how he explained he got it. But what happened with the virus, basically what it did was, it messaged everybody on his Skype contacts list, and it gave them it just automatically did it. Just everybody all at once, and it just gave the message, look at all that money, and there was a link to, like, what looked like a picture. Now, I'm gonna say, I never had a virus before, ever. I kid you not. I've always been super safe about viruses on my computer, so I never actually, you know, downloaded or got tricked by, you know, downloading viruses or whatever. Or at least installing them. Maybe I might have downloaded, you know, a virus before, but like never actually installed it, so like it never actually did anything. But this particular virus, what it did was, it was, you know, one of those file names that was like .jpeg, like .exe or whatever. I can't remember what this particular file name extension was, but it wasn't JPEG. It was like .jpeg, something else. And like an idiot, I looked at it and I was just like, oh, hey, this is a picture. And I opened it. And nothing happened, but I was pretty freaked out anyway. Like, immediately after I opened it, I was just like, wait a minute. This wasn't a picture at all. And then, yeah, I think I just, like, what did I think I, like, disconnected my internet. I just, like, ran a bunch of, like, antivirus and, like, anti-malware and stuff like that. And, I think I actually, like, looked up, you know, information on this virus, you know, like, what was this, all that, you know, look at all this money, you know, that type of thing, and whatever. And I think, like, even the file name itself, I looked up, and I think I found some information on it and how to remove it. But yeah, I was pretty annoyed with that. I think I was the only one out of, like, Brian's contacts, out of, like, the group that we had, because at the time we were talking to, it was, like, me, Brian, I think Timon, I think Zero was just, like, off doing, you know, real-life stuff. So it's just, like, me, Brian, Timon, and then Deck and Corey. And I think Deck and Corey already had Windows 7 at the time. So, I don't know, they said that there was, like, some sort of feature in, like, Windows 7 that just, like, won't run viruses or something. It's just, like, it has, like, a built-in failsafe or something. Never actually looked up into it myself. But I had XP at the time, and I believe Brian did, too. So I think, like, we were the only two that could have actually gotten affected by that. Although it was still pretty annoying, and to this day, we still kind of mention, look at all that money from time to time. Anyway, so now we're here in this room where, if you couldn't tell so far, I had to use the Deku Leaf and these updrafts to get through. And we got ourselves the dungeon map, killed some Wizrobes, and a P-Hat. And now we're over here. We get to step on this button with the iron boots. Boop. And then that opens this. Now this is the portion of the temple that I was unbelievably annoyed with. Like, I was literally I was raging in the Cajun. But yeah, so as you could probably tell, there's even more P-hats down here at the bottom. Now what this thing is that we're standing on is actually a humongous fan. It's not activated yet, but it will be soon. And with that, it'll make, you know, a ginormous updraft that we'll be able to use with the Deku Leaf. And also, of course, if you couldn't guess already, we're going to get Makar back. So we can use Makar's flying ability and use his updraft to our advantage. But yeah, in the meantime, we have to do something else, question mark. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of standing around. There we go. Now we got to go in here. Yeah, that was the other thing about the walkthrough. Oh, this room. That was the other thing about the walkthrough, and I mentioned this before. It liked using the cardinal directions to tell you where to go. So, like, you were basically... what I basically had to do was look at the dungeon map, and then just figure out... Because it would be like, go through the east door here, and then, you know, go do stuff in the east door. And I'd be like, well, which one's the east door? Literally, I can't 100% remember, but from what I just saw, I'm pretty sure there's only 2 doors down there. So if you would have said, go through the door that's not locked, that would have been a lot simpler. Because as you can see, I was just kind of like, wait, is this the correct door? But anyway, so now that we're down here with these extremely annoying thrusting spikes, take that as you will, we've got to move this box that has a spring on top of it. And then, unsurprisingly, we have to move the other box that doesn't have a spring on top of it right next to it, so that we can climb up onto the spring on top of the box. It's very convenient. Why did I pull it that way? Could have went behind, but whatever. Alright, so if you're wondering why there's Armos down here that haven't been activated, well, I'll show that off in just a moment. It's something optional that you can do. Yes, believe it or not, there's something optional in this dungeon. But, here we go, we're going to spring up on here. And then, very quickly, open up this chest. Whew. That stops the noise, gives us a key, and magically, the thrusting spikes go away. Whew, that's it for that noise. Alright, so I decided to super speed this. Now, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to go and break every single one of these breakable platforms with the iron boots. And once you do it each time, barring the second one apparently, enemies will appear. I believe the 4th time. Yeah, now the Armos activate on the 4th time. And then the 5th time, there will be more enemies. But once you do it the 5th time, instantly, a chest appears. Before you even have to deal with all of these green choo-choos. And then Hurricane Spin making that nice and easy. Super Speed making this nice and simple. In the chest, we get something even better than a small key, I think. The treasure chart. You know, who needs to progress throughout the dungeon when you have treasure, right? Alright. So, aside from that silly mention that I just did, yeah, I'm looking at this room, and yeah, there's literally only 2 doors that you can go in through. I don't know, I guess at some points this guy made it overly complicated for some reason. Also, yeah, it told me to switch my arrowheads, so we're gonna switch into ice arrows. Now we gotta deal with a mini-boss! A real mini-boss! Okay, now this mini-boss is actually a Wizrobe himself. But he's a very fancy-looking Wizrobe. In that, not only does he look fancy, he looks like Quetzalcoatl over there, but he can also do very annoying things, like that. So basically, the thing about this Wizrobe is he can spawn other enemies, including Wizrobes, believe it or not. And so apparently, as I'm noticing, and if I can get some... Oh, okay, never mind. It looked like, well, it looked like the Wizrobe that he spawned other enemies, so I was just like, wait a minute. I think this is a Wizrobe that spawns Wizrobes that spawns other enemies, too. And anyway, so now, of course, we gotta deal, what am I doing? I think I was, I think I was just confused here. Yeah, I really need to shoot my arrows at these P-hats. I don't know why I'm just, like, staring at them. Or I think maybe I was prioritizing the Dark Knight. And then, oh, I think I was trying to get closer to the Wizrobe to see if I could actually hit him. Oh, there we go. Why am I... Shoot him. There we go. And I also took out a pea hat with me, so that's pretty good. Ball! That just counts as like one hit. Meanwhile, any other wizard would have killed him. There we go. I hate how long it takes to actually, you know, like knock an arrow. Ah! Okay, that should kill that Wizrobe. Now if we could... Oh, there he is. Ah, that snipe. Oh, I love that. I love those long-range shots like that. That looks so cool. Got him. There we go. Alright, that's it for the mini-boss, so we're not actually done yet. Okay, yeah, he actually just spawned more. He just spawned bats in video games! The Wizrobe just spawned more enemies! Oh, I gotta kill him. Oh, no. Oh, there we go. Sniped. Yeah. This is, I love playing archers in video games, like, you know, like MMORPGs and stuff. You know, originally I would prioritize mages. I always used to love playing mages, and to some extent, I still do love playing mages in RPGs and stuff. I like clerics, you know, healing your team and, you know, buffing them and, you know, making them a lot more awesome. I love that. I love that role. But archers have taken a pretty big place in my heart now, and we got the Hookshot. If I could stop talking, right? So yeah, we got another key item, the Hookshot. Now with the Hookshot, it's slightly different than the grappling hook, in that we actually have to find things on the walls. Right behind me, you can see it. It's like a circular thing. We could just find something to hook to, and then boom, boom, boom. We're up there. Alright, so now we gotta... I think we have to slam this down with the skull hammer, and we're out of here. Alright. Getting that good old do. And now we're done. So, the circular things on the walls are not the only things that you can hookshot to. There'll be other things in the game later on that we'll be able to hookshot to. But, for now, we just have to look for those circular, like, I don't know, buttons, I guess? Maybe they look like buttons. Big fat buttons. Alright. So now we got to hookshot our way up. Back up to where we were, unfortunately. This is a little tedious. So, yeah, I guess I might as well talk about that archer thing again. So, yeah, so what happened was, there's this game that was coming out in 2011, and me and Dak and Corey were pretty excited to play it. So, it was an MMORPG called Dragon Nest, and, you know, it was by Nexon, you know, of course, the same people that made MapleStory. Or, actually, no, they didn't make it, but, you know, they own the rights to it and all that stuff. But yeah, so, it looked really cool, you know, it was a 3D MMORPG, it looked like it had a really good, like, leveling system, it looked like it wasn't grindy, like MapleStory, so overall, it just looked, you know, so much cooler. We were really excited to play that, and I think, Corey already wanted to play, or there was a mage class, but he took the cleric class, it was a separate one, that wasn't actually a mage. Also, he got the compass. Hooray. But yeah, he took the cleric class, so it's just like, you know, I was looking at it, and, you know, it's just like, you know what, I want to try archer. Because I had actually played archer class in MapleStory before. I think I made a couple of archers. And, you know, they were always pretty fun. So, you know, I just said, I might as well try something different. You know, I'll play the archer. The archer is gender locked to female, so, you know, obviously I had to play a female archer, but that's besides the point. In playing that archer, it was just like, it was so much fun because there was two different ways that you could go. You could either be a bowmaster, or was it a bowmaster? It was, or a sharpshooter, something like that. And that was basically focused on longbows, you know, just like long range attacks, you know, just staying away from enemies. Or there was the acrobat, which was more physical, you know, like you were up in people's faces and you used a short bow instead. And I went with the acrobat. It was just so much fun to actually just play that class. That's just like instantly, just like that. I was just like, man, I really love playing archers. But before that, actually, we got set up. You know, we got our. I guess we sort of wet our palates a little bit on MapleStory. We were getting ready to play Dragon Nest, and we were playing the classes that we were going to play in Dragon Nest. So you know, I picked an archer. And, you know, I was playing that in MapleStory beforehand, and that was a lot of fun, actually, you know? because, you know, they had done some changes at the time, you know, to Maple Story. It was after Big Bang, but I think there was another update after that that made it, you know, even more enjoyable. We played on the Chaos server when it was new, so, you know, we were getting, like, all sorts of cool free stuff for being new players on the new server, and, you know, it was a lot of fun. But, yeah, so it just, because of those really good times, those fun moments, I enjoy playing Archers now a whole lot. Alright, so now that I'm done with that story, we're done with saving Makar. I love it, he's just, like, in the corner there. I'm just like, let me go get this joy pendant first, and then I'll deal with actually saving you. So yeah, what we actually needed was the iron boots in conjunction with the hookshot. You had to, I don't know, bop there was like a conveniently placed target on top of that statue where we needed to bop it with the hookshot. Bop it! Ha ha ha! Twist it! Alright, so now we need to actually go down, I believe? Question mark? I don't remember. We have to activate the fan somehow, but I can't remember. Oh yeah, we actually do have to go down. Yeah, I thought I was gonna die from that fall. Turns out I only took 1/4 of a health the damage, so that was very easy. Alright. Dealing with that guy. Oh, that's what we needed to do. We need Makar to drop a couple more seeds. Whoosh. Alright. So that's, you know, that's the old school way of killing P-hats, of course, using the Deku Leaf. Alright. Of course, we had to do that in the Forbidden Woods from time to time. It's just like it wasn't really necessary. But man, I'm telling you, the P-hats were always annoying from the very first time I ever dealt with them. When I had to use that updraft right outside the Forbidden Woods with the Deku Leaf. And of course, they hit me, and I fell down and died. Alright, now the fan is activated, thanks to Makar. God. I didn't quite catch the updraft immediately, but there's a very specific place we have to go. Whoops. I think I just went to the wrong side here. This is where he just was. I don't think he wants these bad memories to come back when he was imprisoned. But it seems... I can't 100% remember if this is the point where I have to actually land on the platform with the Armos Knights. God, that thing, it just looks like he's gonna eat Makar. Alright, so as long as we're not, whoops, hello. As long as we're not command melodying with Makar, this was a very dumb idea. Yeah, what? The fan just was about to go off. Yeah, okay, I was particularly really stupid with this part. You know, now that I really look at what I was doing, I completely ruined my magic by doing this. It was really, really stupid. And, yeah, of course I had to do more lawn mowing so that I could get, or hopefully get, some of my, my magic back. But, yeah, it was really, really stupid how I was using my magic. But, anyway, some time skippery while I did some lawn mowing. And then, yeah, I think, yeah, there goes all the rest of my magic. Now I'm down to 0. Also, if anybody's wondering why I didn't open that treasure chest, the simple answer is the walkthrough didn't tell me to. Yeah, it wanted me to go... Actually, no, I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to be here yet. I'm supposed to go to a different platform. And I love how I broke both of those monster crystals, or whatever they're called. There was no magic to be found. No magic replenish, or whatever. But anyway, that's it for this part of the Wind Waker HD playthrough. Join me in part 30, where I'll be hopefully replenishing my magic so I can get out of this horrible, horrible dungeon. See you all next time.